It's story time in Boston. The Red Sox and Trevor Story reportedly have agreed to terms on a 6-year deal worth $140 million. This happened Sunday morning. The deal has yet to be official, but there's no reason to really believe that it won't be. These things just take time. He needs to take a physical. So this is a very exciting move for the Red Sox. So let's talk about it because it's going to be fun. My name is Lauren. I cover Boston sports for NESN. I am your host of the Locked On Red Sox podcast. Thank you for making Locked On Red Sox your first listen of every single day. I am flying solo today. My co-host, Massachusetts Pirates team insider Jake Ignazuski, is working he's at the Southie Parade, the St. Patrick's Day Parade, and he's working for the Pirates there today, but he will be giving his reaction later this week to the news because I know he is incredibly hyped up. We were texting this morning. He's very jazzed about it, so I'm so excited for him to give you his reaction. And before we get into this episode, it is brought to you by Built Bar. You know me by now and how much I absolutely love Built Bar. And it's March. We're almost in April, which is hard to believe. Usually I'm off the wagon. My New Year's resolutions are out the window. Not this year. I'm getting married in 5 months. I need to stick to that resolution of eating right, and Built Bar helps me stick to that. All of their Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Even their puffs, they're this protein-infused marshmallow. They're marshmallowy, obviously. They're so delicious. They make eating protein bars delicious. They don't have that cardboard kind of chalky taste some others do. Go to built.com, check out their macro site because it is unbelievable. They're low calorie, they're high protein, and there's a flavor for everyone. Coconut almond, mint chocolate brownie, my personal favorite, cookies and cream. Literally something for everyone. Head to built.com. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off your order. That's LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com.
You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So the news broke Sunday morning that the Red Sox and Trevor Story were in an agreement on a deal that's worth $140 million. It is a 6-year deal, so it will keep Trevor Story in Boston for quite some time. He will reportedly play second base. So a lot of people, obviously, when this news broke, were wondering, what does this mean for Xander Bogaerts? Does this mean he's done with Boston after this season? In case you don't know, he can opt out. Xander Bogaerts, can opt out after the 2022 season. All signs point to him doing that. I think he's been pretty open about that. He would be open to discussing a contract extension before opening day, but wants to focus on the season if that does not happen. I would not be surprised if an extension doesn't happen with Bogaerts before opening day, but we're not here to talk about Bogaerts. Trevor Story is the story today, and it's a really good signing for the Red Sox. I think fans are happy and will be happy that this is a right-handed bat that the Red Sox really needed for this lineup, and he can play second base, and he can play shortstop. Obviously, he's played shortstop his whole career. So for him to come in and want to switch positions, he obviously wants to be here. There was a report that he was offered a contract from the Rockies, but he decided on the Red Sox at the end of the day because they have a better chance to win. And I'm not going to argue with him on that. So that's a good sign that he wants to be here. And like I said, I know there are questions about Xander's future, but I think that with Trevor Story coming in and playing second base, that's not something to really think about right now. But I do think that it does provide the Red Sox some depth at shortstop should Xander opt out and leave and sign somewhere else in free agency next year. That does provide that stability there. You can just slide Story over, Christian Arroyo, Kike Hernandez. I know Hernandez's deal is up after the end of the 2022 season, but there is that depth and that stability and that reliability. Trevor Story has played nothing but shortstop. And this is a big deal for Chaim Bloom. It's the biggest contract he's given out since his time in Boston. It's the longest in terms of years, and it's also the most in terms of dollar amount since the Red Sox signed David Price all those years ago. So that's kind of putting it into perspective how much money Chaim Bloom hasn't spent since taking over for baseball operations of the Red Sox. So this is a great deal for the Red Sox. I think, like I said, the fans should be happy. They're getting a really dominant player in Story. You know what you're getting with his defense. He's got a good bat, and like I said, he's that right-handed hitter that the Red Sox really, really needed to get, and they went out and they got their guy. However, as much as I do feel better about the lineup, but they still have a ton of holes in the pitching rotation and their bullpen. Alex Cora did say that Tanner Houck likely will get a start in the rotation. He'll start the season as one of the starting five. So as much as Trevor Story adds to the lineup, there still needs some pitching help. And I think that's going to be a story until opening day if the Red Sox don't make any more moves. So Trevor Story's deal is reported to be 6 years, $140 million. He can opt out after year 4, but the Red Sox can void that opt out by adding a 7th year to the deal. So that's something that's not heard of a lot. I saw it referred to as a complicated opt out. I just think it's awkward. I don't think that it's not like an opt out. Xander Bogaerts can opt out. JD Martinez could have opted out and he did not. So it's kind of, if he opts out, the Red Sox can be like, well, we're just going to add this 7th year. And then if they add the 7th year, it adds $20 million to the salary. So it would be a 7-year, $160 million deal, which still isn't all that bad for someone of Trevor Story's caliber. Overall, I like the deal. I think Chaim Bloom did a really good job here. I think Trevor Story wants to be in Boston. I'll be excited when it's official and when Alex Cora can talk about it. The Red Sox once again won their spring training game. They're now 4-0, and he was asked about it after the game, but he can't comment on anything about free agents or anything who is and is not signed because it's not official. But he did say he's a great player. Xander Bogaerts was asked about it, and he's like, he's an extremely great player. So I think everyone will be happy to have Trevor Story. I think fans too should be happy about this. There's going to be a lot of fun hits, a lot of fun home runs, and he's going to bring good energy to the clubhouse. And this clubhouse already has really good energy between Kike Hernandez, Rafael Devers, JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, and Alex Cora too. As a whole, this team has really good energy, and I do think someone like Trevor Story is only going to add to that. So that's another reason to be excited about this deal. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not official yet. The Red Sox have not announced the trade, but it is out there. It is reported on Passan, Rosenthal, Nightingale, Heyman. They've all reported it. Nightingale was the first to get it, so that was a good get for him, especially after the lockout and that fiasco and everything. So it was definitely a need for the Red Sox to get someone like Story. I think fans may have combusted if there was another story of the Red Sox being the interest kings and being involved with somebody only to not offer them enough money, only to maybe not even be involved in the talks as much as they were reported on. So it was really nice change of pace to see, oh, the Red Sox are interested in somebody. Oh, the Red Sox agreed to a deal with this somebody. So that's obviously very, very good news. Love to hear that. We love to see the Red Sox bolster this lineup because the Blue Jays and the Yankees, they've done stuff too to help their lineups. The Rays are still going to be a good team. The Red Sox need to keep up, and Trevor Story will help them. They still need help in pitching, but this is a good start. We do have an episode planned for you for Monday. We did record it Saturday night, so we did talk about Trevor Story and the possibility of a deal maybe not getting done. So disclaimer, when you listen to Monday's episode, we do talk about Story as if he is not signed because when we recorded it, he was not signed at the time. So basically just ignore everything we say in Monday's episode, but still listen because it's a great episode. We love talking about the Red Sox with you. But that will do it for today's very quick episode, a bonus episode for you on this lovely Sunday here in Boston. Very busy day in Boston for Boston sports. If you're a Bruins fan, head on over to Locked On Bruins because Ian McLaren breaks down the Hampus Lindholm trade and his extension. It was worth 8 years. Very busy day. I worked today. My fingers were going a mile a minute between Trevor Story and the Red Sox and Hampus Lindholm and the Bruins. Good. It was a very good busy. Like I said, fingers were going a mile a minute. My voice is probably going a mile a minute because I'm still so amped up from the adrenaline of the news just continuing to break today. Like I said, please be sure to check back Monday. We have a ton of awesome guests planned for next week as well. And Jake still needs to give his reaction to this news. Like I said, he is incredibly jazzed about it, so he will be sharing that excitement with you all very soon. Rate, review, and subscribe to the Locked On Red Sox podcast right here on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a review, rate, review, subscribe. Like I said, tell us what you want to hear. Follow us on Twitter at LO_Red Sox, Jake at Jake Iggy, and me at La Lauren, 3 Laws, Lauren with 4 R's. Check out all of our work on NESN.com. We are doing a boatload of Trevor Story stuff, so head on over, check that out. Check out all the other Locked On MLB shows across the network. Locked On MLB with Sully, Locked On Yankees with Stacy, Locked On Astros, Locked On A's. Everyone's doing a really good job. There's moves to be made. There's tons of news to talk about. Everyone's super amped up that baseball is back. Baseball is starting. And it's not just baseball, because BetOnline has you covered, because it's that time of the year again as college basketball's tournament finally is upon us. From all the latest odds, contests, and player props, betonline.net is the #1 source for all of your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your continued source for all of your sporting wagering information needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino games. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. My ring light decided to give out on me. It's been doing that lately. It is in a mood, so that will be a great place to end the show. Have a great day. We will see you on Monday.